Hi everybody, this is Diane. I'm working on some Renaissance or medieval journals. I did another video yesterday, but I got interrupted. I was making some more ephemera, and I was interrupted by my daughter. So I finished the ephemera, but you're not going to see that video. I will just show you what I did and talk about it a little. Then we're going to look at the papers that I have, and I can select papers for the pages and maybe work on decorating a cover. So I don't remember which pieces were shown in the video that you did see, but I know that I started on these. I have them divided into medieval and Renaissance piles. So these were just images that I cut with a Big Shot and some nested dies. So they're scrapbook paper, and then the beautiful illuminated manuscript paper from Lorna's kit, and then a Mrs. Coggs image on the top. And I added an embellishment to them, and these will be tuck spots. I put some gold paint around the edge of each layer. So they were fun to make and not too hard. I did these pockets with just a rectangle of a double-sided paper. This is that nice, feels like a handmade paper from from Joann's, and they're all different sizes. This one is 2.5 inches wide, I think, 6 inches, and this is 4.5 inches by 6.5, and this is 3.5 by 6.5. And then I just folded one corner down so you could see the other side and attached it with a brad. And then I glued a cardstock circle to cover the brad prongs so nothing will get caught in there. And then I will either glue it or sew it on this side, and it will be a tuck spot. So they were pretty simple too, but they look pretty. Now, I don't remember if I showed you this. I think I did. I think you saw these in the video that did get published. But this is just a piece of scrapbook paper, cardstock, that just looks like a distressed painted surface. And I added a Mrs. Coggs image and a piece of the mica. And I'm going to show you the packaging in case that is the video that didn't get shown, because I know I showed it in a video. And then I put holes in it and added the eyelets to hold the mica and the card down. And these will be pockets or tuck spots. And this is what the packaging of the mica tiles looks like. I just typed in mica tiles on Amazon, and I don't remember how much it cost. I've had them for a while, but mica is a mineral and they are layered. And when I cut or broke some of the pieces, you just start peeling apart. It feels like cellophane, but it is one of the layers of the mica. Very interesting. So I thought that these would make really fun tuck spots, something interesting and unique. And I know that these were in the video that I didn't show. So what I did was I took my white shipping tags. They look like that with the craft reinforcer. And I took one of my pages from Lorna's kit. I'm looking for those pages right now. I have a stack of paper next to me. So it's a page like this, and it's called Time of Illumination is this kit, and I think this is set 1. She has a couple of sets. I just took one that didn't have quite so much decoration on it. They did have a little, and I turned it over to the back, and then I just glued my tags onto the back of the paper. And then I cut around the tags and ended up with these tags with a really pretty script on them. And then I added some embellishments. So all of these embellishments were cut from some of the books that I have. So this is one of the decorations that is on the digital page, and I just thought it looked great with this. And that's a medieval couple. And a couple of shields. And one of the books has border images too from, they were decorating the pages of the book. So I cut out those borders, and this is a piece of wood with some nail heads on it. And again, this is just part of the printed paper. And since these are shields, I added on the back whose shields they were. Edward the Black Prince and Richard the Lionheart. So those are the medieval ones. And then these are for the Renaissance. I know in the first video, the previous video, I talked about the Renaissance period and the medieval period. I like that castle. It just came out of a book. And these tags are for these pockets that I made in the first video. So there will be a page where there will be 3 pockets lined up on the page like this, or 2. I mean, this might be too big for the one journal. And I will just slip these slip these tags into there. And you'll be able to see the pretty script sticking out and the fibers. If I have room for 3, I'll do that on the page. And then lastly, I did these. Oh, I didn't sew around this one. So I took my gold cardstock and took a nail file and just rubbed it all over the cardstock and rubbed off some of the gold. And then, supposedly, I sewed a Mrs. Coggs image around there. I don't think this one's Mrs. Coggs, but all the rest of them are. But I need to go back in and sew this one. So you can see it is sewn on. And then I added this sheer lace fabric, sewed that across the top, and then I had this gold that I had die cut. And it's the same as this, but it hasn't been rubbed, sandpapered. And I just took a piece of that and sewed it across the top, and then added this vintage lace, which I think it just looks like it belongs in this time period. These either look like buttresses, not buttresses, but the crenellations of a castle wall, or banners. I'm trying to get this little thread off of here. Banners that hang from the castle walls, or even the flaps from a knight's uniform, the knight's armor. Not uniform, but that square shape. It just had so many images from this time period for me. So I added that. I don't have a big piece of it, but I used a lot. I used pieces of it for all 3 of these. And then I had some corners that were die cut from the same gold paper, and I added them to the bottom corners just to give a little weight and some more decoration to bring the gold down. So here's this picture. That's a Botticelli painting, and this is one of the images from one of the Mrs. Coggs kits that I'm using. And I believe this might be from the Tales of Camelot kit from Mrs. Coggs. So that's what I have, and I again was cutting things out of book pages and stuff like that last night. So I have so much stuff, and I say that all the time, don't I? Every time I start a journal, I have so much stuff. So I divided them up into medieval images and Renaissance images to help. So I'm going to set the medieval things aside, and I'm going to work on the Renaissance one first. These are all images that I will use, or I could use, in a Renaissance journal. I have these pages from Lorna's kit. This one might be cut to fit the smaller book. This one's going to be the medieval book. Yep, so that will go with the medieval stuff. I selected 9. Actually, I have 10 there. But I will put 3 in each signature. So I just need some other pages. So I've got book pages here. I think this would be a good one because it's just got this burgundy rust color on the back. This is a detail of this portrait of Queen Elizabeth I. I might use that. I want to put 2 book pages in each signature, so I'll need 6 book pages. But I have so many beautiful book pages. Look at that one. It's just hard to choose. Now I wouldn't want to use that side, but I do love that side. So I could cover the other side if I use it. That one I love. Like I said, too many beautiful ones. And I've got other book pages too. These I'll probably cut things out of those pages. Got images already cut. These I thought I might use the whole page because there's definitions here. And this is a book about fashion or costume from different periods. And this is the Renaissance period. There's Renaissance, masculine corseted shapes. Renaissance, the Spanish body and the farthingale. Renaissance corsets and Renaissance chemise tops. I thought that would be really fun to include. Okay, so for book pages, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll have to make a choice and get rid of one of those. I have some scrapbook papers. This one is the only cardstock piece that I have. It's left over from Once Upon a Time paper from DCWV. And I do have the page that comes with this kit that was the Knight. And I set that aside for the medieval journal. But I have one cardstock piece, and the rest are papers. I got quite a few. These 2 were already coffee dyed, but I don't know. I might use that one, but I don't know if I want this one. The rest I would have to coffee dye. So, I'll use some blue because the cover of this one is going to be blue. So I'll take that one. And there's another blue. And this one. There's going to be red on the cover, so I'm going to use that. There's another blue. Okay, that gives me 2 scrapbook papers for each signature. And I'll take some coffee dyed paper. So for each signature I now have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think that there will be quite a bit of embellishing, so I think 9 per signature will be enough. It will be a thick book that way. Okay, then all I have to do is do some copy dyeing and cut these and get them collated, and then I will feel like I'm really on my way with these journals. I will make sure I set aside enough pages for the Renaissance or the medieval book, and I can always print more of these, and then I will be able to use more of these pages for making more embellishments and ephemera. I don't want to use the Florentine paper as a page. It's expensive, and I just don't want to fold it in as a page. I just want to use that for making embellishments and stuff. Oh, here's another cardstock piece I could use. Forgot I had this piece. That might go in place of one of those scrapbook papers. I have these pieces of tracing or vellum. This one got cut up, and I have this one left, so I don't know, I might just use them as pockets or just put a little page in. Not sure how I'll use that yet, but I like that design. Let's look at the cover. I don't know what I'm doing with the cover yet, so I don't know if I want to commit to anything on video. But I thought I would, I'm using this pretty blue, and I want to let some of that blue show. And I cut this out of one of the books. So this is the blue and the reddish tones, and all these colors too, because I want to use a piece of this, but I thought I would just tear this and use this and maybe some pieces of Lorna's paper. I've got some scraps of that, or I can cut another piece. And I also thought about embossing the background on this. I'm going to start by tearing this paper. Where's my tear ruler? I don't want it to be too regular a shape. Something like that. That edge is still flat, but it will be covered. Oh, not all of it. Then I thought if I did some embossing on the background, it would add interest to that blue, but let the blue still stand out. Let's see if I want it to go this way. No. I think I like it better this way. Okay. Alright, so what kind of design will I emboss on here? I could do a script. Map might be fun. Got another script. Wonder what this would look like embossed on there. I was thinking of really playing around and doing more than one embossing powder and more than one design. So, put our pieces back on. I could have the diamond pattern down here and some script up here. And maybe even after, once I glue these pieces down, I could do something like this on top of the pieces. So let's just go for it. Let's be brave and go for it. And if I don't like it, I can find a different cover. So I'm going to take this. This is called an embossing buddy, and it's from Stampin' Up. I don't know. I'm sure other places sell things like this. I'm not sure what's in there, but it will remove static from the piece so that the embossing powder will only cling to the ink that I leave down. I have gold and I have vintage photo, but this is a distress glaze, so it will be more translucent. Let me see what other colors I have. I could make it more subtle with a speckled egg or a light color antique linen. I think I'm going to try the speckled egg. So I won't need this whole block, so I'll just do part of it. That's Versamark ink, and it stays wet long enough to emboss with it, because it has to stay wet long enough for the embossing powder to stick. And a normal ink pad will dry too quickly, but the watermark stamp pad from Versamark and what are those other ones called? Just pour the... Well, you can get a pad called an embossing ink pad, but there are other colored ink pads that stay wet. There's a dye ink pad that does not stay wet, and then I'm trying to remember what the other ones are called. Pigment ink pad, they stay wet. And they're usually on a foam instead of a felt pad. Now let's emboss it. See it? next one shouldn't take that long because the heat gun is warmed up now. I think I want to try this one. So let's lay the pieces on again. We're covering up most of what we just embossed, but there's enough there to create some interest. This one is bigger, so I guess I'll do that one. It'll cover up more of that space. And I think I'll use the Distress ink, the Vintage Photo one. Sorry. Instead of the gold. I got gold out to do the text, but I think I want to put some gold paint around the edge. So I will just, this is upside down. I wrote upside down on there so I would know every time I stamp it that I have to turn it. I took this off the wood block so it could be flexible for when I use it for art journaling and stuff. And I put the label back on upside down. So I will use, do I want to use the dark or the light? Let's use the light. Oh, I haven't used this one yet. This one is called Antique Linen. If I tip it this way, it will cover the rest of it and stick as it runs down. Well, the blue shows through it because it is a translucent powder. Makes it look green because it's yellow and blue mixed together. Interesting. Okay, I like that. It's not what I was expecting, but I like it. Now let's see what we have. I'm going to put some paint around the edge. I guess some wax paper. I have my sponge. Didn't wash it yesterday, so it's all dried where the paint dried on it. Then of course I'll have to let this dry before I do any more to it. Just want to see what this would look like if I sponge it. Okay. Okay. I think that's going to be a pretty cover. And of course I will need to put some gold around the back cover. I don't know if I'm going to emboss anything on that. Okay, guess that's where I'm going to have to leave it for now, because I need to let those dry. I think that's a good start for the cover. Okay, let me get this back here so I can measure it. I will cut my pages. See, it's just about 6 inches, so if I want my pages to be, let's say, 5 1/4, then I would cut it 10 1/2 wide by 9. Yeah, 10 1/2 by 9. Sorry if I bumped you. Turn my chair around and I think the back of my chair hit the tripod. I'll put all of these elements in a safe place, she says, and then she forgets where the safe place is, as I usually do. Can't cut the scrapbook paper yet because I need to coffee dye it. I can cut some of these pages. Okay, I said, jeepers. I know it was 10 1/2 wide. I wanted to say 9, but I wasn't sure. But this isn't 9 inches wide anyway. Probably not 10 and a half. Yep, it is. I can trim a little off it. Now this page is rather square, but it is not 10 and a half inches wide, so I want to do it that way. Yeah, I'll probably do it that way. But it's not 10 and a half that way either, but this way it needs to be 9. No higher than 9. I'm just going to trim it a little bit. It's okay. I want pages to be different sizes. I could put it in like that, so it would be right side up, but it would, where would it be? Yeah, I'm going to do it. So do I need to cut more off? It needs to be 9. Yep. And that changes where it folded, and well, that's all right. This would be great as the center of the signature. This is a tall page. I'll have to cover up this side. I think I'll use this one. I'm gonna let you go. Oh, not quite. Let's see how this paint is doing. Okay. I don't think I want to emboss yet on that because the embossing powder would stick to any paint that is still wet. But I wanted to think about where I'm going to emboss that piece. I should put some gold around here too. I think it would be nice to put some gold embossing in that dark corner. I always squeeze out more than I want. Yeah, I think I'll add the embossing right there. It will show up more on the dark, but it will go onto that also. And there's already gold there, so it'll just kind of blend in there, but I think it'll add a nice element there. Just take a little vintage photo around the edge of this. Okay, so the elements are coming together for the cover. I'll just make sure it's all dry before I do any more gluing and embossing. But I think I'm pretty happy with it. So I don't know, I don't think I'll be doing coffee dyeing today. My back is hurting today, and coffee dyeing doesn't help with that. So I might do that tomorrow morning. Oh, I'll have the boys tomorrow. And Adam has his school right next to the kitchen. Maybe I will coffee dye today. Anyway, I hope that you are enjoying this process of figuring this out. I still feel like I'm swimming one way and then another way and bobbing up and down and drowning a little bit. But we'll get there. Once I really get on a roll, it'll go. I know that. This happens to me a lot. So I hope that gives you encouragement to know that it doesn't come easy. Very rarely do I start out confidently, especially with something like this, a theme like this. If it's a special theme, I feel intimidated, especially if I have a lot of supplies. But I like having a lot of supplies. I'm not complaining. So tell me your thoughts about this journal and how much of the process you want to see, because I don't want to bore you and I don't want you to be turned off from my channel. So I hope that this isn't boring content. So rambling is boring, so I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.